was elected by the Board of Supervisors to be interim mayor to fill out his term, on in part a promise or an implication, a wink, a nod, a statement in interviews, though nothing in writing, that he wasn't going to run for a full term. And now it is a little more than apparent that he is. He's probably going to be announcing next week. So my question is two questions. One, your reaction. And two, I'm going to be sitting down with him tomorrow in front of a television camera, and if you got a question you'd like me to ask him, what would it be?
Mayor Lee did make commitments to many of us sitting here that he was not going to run for office in November. That being said, I have a feeling that everyone here at this table will be continuing their campaigns. I am very proud of the fact that over the last couple of weeks, my campaign, we turned in the most signatures to qualify us for the ballot. We came in at the top of our fundraising totals, and we have thousands of San Franciscans that are building a vision of what our future city can be. So if he gets in the race...
You want me to ask him that tomorrow about his reaction?
Sure, absolutely. I would love for you to ask him.
Okay. How do you feel? Should he be doing it or not?
I do think that things will change at City Hall if he does, and that would be a concern that I would have.
How will they change?
We have all... Wow. I think that we have all worked very well together to move forward things in the city based on trust that we've had, based on being able to understand where others are coming from, and I do worry about what might happen if that changes.
Michela, you voted for him, for Ed Lee to go in on that condition. Your reaction?
My first reaction is that we haven't had a forum like this. You know, there are three of us, Bevan, myself, and David, who all voted to put him there. And the truth of the matter is that there were some very strong commitments for him to be a caretaker. And the real reason for that, not to make any bones about it, was because we had a pension reform thing coming up. We knew that we were going to have to fight Jeff Adachi. And we knew that whatever pension reform measure came to go up against Jeff's, we'd need to be able to use every resource that we had to fight it. And so one of the main reasons that we wanted a caretaker is because we wanted a mayor who could come in, work with Supervisor Ellsburn, who's been doing this stuff for years, and not be deterred from that, and be very focused on that.
So should he be in or not?
And so my concern, real one, is that if Jeff's passes, it's up for a real legal fight, and most likely could very much be overturned. If if Ed Lee and the consensus package is the one to pass with more votes, then the city will save a lot of money. And so this is a very, very big risk. And what we're hearing now already is because Ed is so closely tied to the consensus package that it is becoming more political. And that's not what is best for the city, and that was one of the main reasons that we wanted a caretaker.
So should he run or not?
It's a free country, and it's a democratic process. And if he wants to get into the race, in all seriousness, I welcome the opportunity to debate him. But I think it's important that there's an understanding of why we got to where we got, or why we're here. But truthfully, it would be very interesting, and it'd probably be pretty fun.
30 seconds. Try to keep it to 30. You can go. You'll probably go longer.
We and I have discussed this issue before. Ed told me in September that he wasn't interested in being the interim mayor, and honestly, I moved on and advocated for Sheriff Hennessy. And then on the day that we had the vote of the old board that voted, Mayor Lee said that he had changed his mind. And I felt he was the best person for the job, and he has not disappointed me. I think he has done an excellent job this year. I've changed my mind on issues, and I think he has the right to change his mind. And now I'm going to ask to redirect myself and say, look at this room. People have not focused on this race like any of us that are running which. And if Ed Lee were sitting at this podium, there would not be an empty seat here. So I'm not afraid to welcome him to this race.
And what would you like me to ask him tomorrow?
If I could be his number 2.
pause to follow a great line. It's tough to follow that. So you raised concerns. You wrote a letter to the Ethics Commission about this Run Ed Run movement. How do you feel?
I didn't have to cast a ballot, but I welcome him to the race should he choose to come in. It's a free country, people can come and run. But what I welcome then is to understand a couple things. Number one, I want to see if Mayor Lee is his own man, and I look forward to having a debate with him about what his personal vision is about the future of San Francisco, which we have yet to hear. What I am more concerned about, quite frankly, is the organization Progress for All and what influence it has had in this process. From my perspective, everybody up here has played by the rules. There's been transparency, and when you have an organization that has not adhered to the directions of the Ethics Commission, it leads to a sense of skepticism and cynicism about government, which unfortunately is all too broad these days. And there has been a call for a district attorney investigation and a U.S. attorney investigation. And I think that the public has a right to know where the money came from, who was involved, and what conversations occurred. I think that's perfectly appropriate. I'm supportive of it. But should he decide to get in the race, I really look forward to having a serious debate with him on what his vision is for the future of San Francisco.
Joanna?
If Ed Lee wants to go back on his word and join the race, I welcome him. And for me, instead of running against 8 City Hall insiders, it just makes it 9.
Assessor?
I've run a campaign on bringing more voices into City Hall. We've talked to over 100,000 people in the last 3 months. I think the mayor wants to be part of that discussion. I think it's great. I think it's important. I'd love to hear what he has to say as well. I think it is important for all of us to engage him and to talk about the very important issues in terms of public safety, housing, education, the environment, and really understand what lays ahead for him and for the city.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't get the answer, by the way. What I would ask him, or
Yeah.
we should ask him, what's his vision? I mean, to Dennis's point, what's your vision for the
How
city?
much
of
time should I give
London
him for that?
now? What?
How much 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
30
I was
seconds.
going to add to Bevan's question that I want to know who his third choice is too.
Well, now we're going to move on to some of the questions from the audience and such, all right? And everybody